I've built some things that didn't make it to stage for sure. That I'm curious if they ever will. But some of them are pretty large. Yeah.
Vicky here at Download Festival, and I'm with Dan of Nothing More. How's it going today?
Hey Vicky, having a great day. How are you?
I'm good. And one thing I've been thinking about recently is there's obviously a big element is lyrics and the feeling that people get from a song, but that obviously the instruments play a huge part, but Nothing More are a band that have even created their own instruments in the past. And so did you create those with the audience in mind?
Yeah, I mean, truly, because they really came about as like performance instruments, like Scorpion Tail. I do all the metal work in the band, and so Johnny came to band practice one day, and he was playing with this like video game controller thing that it was a MIDI controller that had an accelerometer in it, so as he moved it, it sent information to the computer, and it had buttons and like a big knob, all sending MIDI information to the computer. But he was able to, we routed the guitar and the bass through the computer and the vocal, and so with this kind of video game controller, he was able to kind of make dubstep out of just what we're normally rocking out to, and it's like, God, that sounds awesome. Like, we have to do that. And it's like, but that thing looks so stupid. So, so I spent the next year trying to make something to where, like, 10,000, in a crowd of 10,000 people, the guy in the back can get an idea of what's happening, like a big movement, and you hear a guitar pitch up or pitch down, or, big buttons to make the vocal stutter and things like that. So yeah, it's all performance minded, but we love doing that though. Performance is definitely important to this band.
Do you think you'll create some other sort of contraption in the future?
Yeah, I've built some things that didn't make it to stage for sure. That I'm curious if they ever will. I won't give them away, but some of them are pretty large. Yeah.
How was your set earlier at Download Festival?
Oh, it was awesome. We played early. It was raining. When we showed up to the stage. Sun came out, clouds cleared, ton of people showed up. It was a throwdown for sure. So
I saw you guys get into the crowd a little bit as well towards the end.
Yeah, we like to really get up close and personal at the end of the set and bring some drums to the front row, and me and Mark and Johnny all kind of climb on the barricade and let people are grabbing our legs, holding us up, and do a little outro drum solo thing. So it's fun.
It was so cool. It was really good. I wanted to rewind a little bit in Nothing More history and talk about This Is the Time.
Yeah.
Because, that was really a song that introduced you to a lot of people. And for me, that song, and I know loads of people agree with this, is one of the most emotionally charged songs that you could ever listen to.
Yeah, definitely. Every song has some sort of passion to it, that we hope that people connect to, and we also hope, we definitely have our meaning built into everything and the reason why we wrote it, but we hope that, people can, it can cross over into greater meaning for everyone. So it's cool to hear that song kind of did that. So
yeah. It totally does. And Nothing More are so good at doing that. You're able to put emotion into songs in a way that not every band can.
Yeah. Lyrics are important to us. There are a lot of bands, we grew up listening to Thrice and, grew up in the church and listened to bands like Blindside and things like that. All bands that like have a message, and something positive that you take away, some sort of cool connection. So yeah, that was kind of what we wanted to do too, be philosophical, not like preachy or anything, but just, talk about the struggle, talk about, the meaning of pain and things like that. And it's a popular thing, so.
What is one song in your back catalogue that really stands out to you?
That's such a hard question. This Is the Time for sure, because that was like the song that really kind of broke open the music industry for us. And I remember sitting in my parents' house in the den, just on the couch with Mark and Johnny, and that's where we worked on a lot of the lyrics. And I don't know, when you're writing something like that, especially at that time of in our career, it's like, I don't think this would be a radio song, I don't think it's too heavy, it's too too long, like the bridge is pretty experimental, but we loved that song, and to have that one be the at the nose of the ship that we come out to is, I think, awesome. So.
I mean, even the music video, like, it's quite dramatic with the water and.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun. Yeah, it's like, oh man, is this what all music videos are like? That was our first real music video, and it's funny, we performed as a band, but there's water coming down on us the whole time, and they had this like electrical system set up with the lights that if there's any sort of, like ground fault, it just shuts the lights off. And for whatever reason, my side of the stage of that like set, the lights just didn't work. It was constantly like trying to kill me and shock me. So everyone got to perform together, rock it out. They're like, all right, Dan, go perform by yourself, give it your all. It was so awkward. It was horrible. But music videos are terrible. But I'm glad when they turn out good like that. So.
Yeah, definitely. That one's really cool. And I wanted to talk about one of your newest songs, Stuck. And I highlighted some of the lyrics. This is for all the people that can't break through. I used to feel just like you, stuck. I like how Nothing More always sort of speak to the crowd. Like, we understand you. That's sort of what I get from that.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there, we're, you're not like held down, like you're just, I love that word stuck, because like you're not where you want to be, but every move you make, you just have no traction. Like you can't, it's like you're climbing up a muddy hill and you'll go up a couple feet and then slide back down, and yeah, you're just stuck. And but what's amazing, the feeling I love in the chorus is the feeling like that it gives me is when you're finally kind of unstuck, like when you start feeling the ground beneath your feet, pushing back, and you can climb the hill. So it's a moment you live for. But yeah, and it will come eventually.
Yeah. You all have a part in writing lyrics, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. And so does the band find it easy to be vulnerable when songwriting?
At this point, for sure, but that's something we're really lucky that we can do together, because it is a vulnerable moment, sharing an inner feeling or even just something that you like, and have someone else be like, that's stupid. It kind of hurts a little bit. So lyrics being more emotional, it's definitely a vulnerable place. But at the end of the day, I love it, because I think that the more minds you have on it that agree, we all kind of, someone will say a word that sparks another thing that then sparks this other thing, and that's the final product kind of deal. So you don't know what you're going to get, and it's always a better, cooler product, I think. So better song.
I like that. I've never actually thought about that before, but if you have a group of people songwriting, because I see writing a song maybe is telling a story, but you're more likely for it to become more authentic in the feeling that you're trying to get across, the more brains are thinking of it.
Yeah, and it's like we all have to connect on the song and on that feeling to it become a Nothing More song. And I think that's a cool thing. So yeah, it's the input of 4 different dudes all talking about the same thing, which I think is cool. It gives different perspective to it.
There's something in songwriting, in being honest, being vulnerable, but it creates the best sort of music. What do you think the key components of a really good song are? Yeah,
just that, like, I don't know if vulnerability is the right word, but just like a fearlessness, in whatever you're saying. That's always at the core of it. And I don't know, it's hard to say, what exactly are the elements that make a great song, but when you're making it, like, we all have music that connects to us and we kind of know why. So like, as we make our own music, it's like, oh, I think this is cool, you think this is cool, okay, then I guess it must be kind of cool. Let's release it. So
yeah, I mean, and also it's like you said, I think you mentioned earlier, like, people can interpret music in different ways. They can interpret that song, maybe not how you wrote it, but there's something about that lyric that's resonating with a story that someone has in their own life, and that makes it powerful.
Totally. And yeah, and even music without lyrics, even, or music in a different language, still like gives you a feeling and gives you this energy to move in whatever direction it's telling you to, kind of thing, that you connect with, that you need. I think that's magical.
If you could describe Nothing More in an object, a sound, and an emoji, which would you pick?
Oh man, and an emoji?
Yeah.
Oh geez, I'm so bad with emojis. I'll do, let's see, an object. say lightning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. A sound. I can't just say thunder. That's so cheesy. Maybe the sound of a chainsaw going through a massive tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then emoji, I'll go fire truck.
Nice. What's next for Nothing More after Download Festival?
Got a couple more festivals over here, but then we are coming back to the UK and Europe in December. We'll be hitting London, Manchester, Bristol, and Glasgow, and then a bunch of other cities in Europe. So we're beyond stoked. Headline tour. Yeah, come on out.
Cool. All right, well, we really look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Cheers.